food turns into energy. Diabetes means sugar in the blood. So for some reason, that sugar is still in your bloodstream, which is a problem with our pancreas, not so much about what we're eating. Our pancreas's main job is to produce insulin. It's a little factory that makes insulin, releases that insulin into your bloodstream, and helps that glucose get into your cells, where it's finally energy for your body. Energy to make your body move, think, breathe. Everything works off of glucose. So sometimes our pancreas will stop working. The factory will either completely shut down or it will take a little break, kind of like an early retirement or go on part-time. So we have different types of diabetes. There's gestational diabetes that can happen when a woman is pregnant. The pregnancy can cause too much stress on the pancreas, and the pancreas can take a break for the next 9 months. Or we have type 1 diabetes, which is less common. Usually is diagnosed in kiddos between 9 and ages 15, but it can happen at any time in life. It's an autoimmune attack that causes the factory to be shut down and no longer produce insulin. Then we have type 2 diabetes, which is much more common, but we don't always know what causes it. We do know that lifestyle and genetics can play a role, and sometimes changing the way we eat, or maybe becoming more active, and the inclusion of medicine can help our pancreas work better, thus reducing complications. The problem with diabetes is that we don't always feel bad, but our pancreas may be stressed and not working like it should, which means the sugar in our bloodstream is continuing to rise. Diabetes is a lot more manageable now because we know so much more about it. Diabetes has been around for thousands and thousands of years, but just in the last 100 years have we had insulin. We now have the ability to give a person insulin and prolong their life. In the last 30 years, we've had more improvements in medications. We now have many types of insulin that are more manageable for a person with diabetes, and we have oral medications and injectables that can help a person with type 2 diabetes live a long and healthy life. Medications are used to help manage diabetes in different ways. A person with type 1 will need insulin from day 1 till the end of their life. A person with type 2 might need different kinds of medications with time. And just because you have type 2 diabetes or your friend has type 2 diabetes, you might manage your diabetes with different medications. There are some oral medications that help the pancreas work better, and there are some oral medications that help other organs in the body work better to help you feel better and live a long, healthy life. The body will send off different signals to let you know that something is wrong. Since we're not converting food into energy, the person will start to feel really hungry, thirsty, tired because they're not receiving any energy. Sometimes their vision will change. Sometimes they may go to the bathroom a lot, or sometimes they might be irritable or cranky. We might also see a sudden weight loss because since your body is not able to convert glucose into energy from carbohydrates, your body then breaks down the stores from your body's protein and fat stores. So we see a rapid weight loss, which may be encouraging, but is actually a sign that something's wrong. If you feel that you might have diabetes or you have these signs or symptoms, it's important to talk to your doctor. Ask questions, find out what your fasting blood sugar is or what your A1C is, the last 3 months of your blood sugar. It's important to get a hand on managing your diabetes, which can be done successfully to prevent complications. Management includes lifestyle by being mindful of what you're eating, moving your body, listening to how you're taking care of your body, how you're coping and solving problems, and how you're reducing risks.
So you know the old saying that your health is your wealth. Let's all get in the know about your health. This is your People's Tech and Entertainment Show. Health education moment on KIEE 88.3 FM.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the People's Tech and Entertainment Show for Saturday, November the 4th. We're going to have some pretty good weather out there today. We're here for another edition. So much stuff is going on today. We have also something that I'm so much into is the big car show going on in Parks, Louisiana. If y'all listening out there in Parks, shout out to you guys. Y'all doing such a great job. Brother Antonio Jackson and Mr. Paradis. They're putting on a great car show today. I mean, the weather is fine. You can't ask for ideal weather for something like this. And this is a positive event. And to end the year in one of those situations where you have a big positive event is such a great thing and a rarity nowadays in South Louisiana. I just want to say, especially when it's being put on by the community. When I say the community. We had Mr. Antonio Jackson on earlier this week on the open line to talk about it. So I'm gonna be giving some details. So I hope to bring my Digital Soul cameras over there and capture some of the footage. Some people might know Sister Khadijah and I and others, Brother Shahid, of Finders Keepers. We've all been producers at AOC Community Media. A big shout out to them, our media partners. That's the Cox Cable lineup. Channel 15 and LUS Channel 3, cable TV on in the 5 parish area. Now, where in the South do you have a cable network, a local cable network that reach most of South Central Louisiana? And none other than AOC Community Media. And I say that being there between 20 and 15 years, whatever, doing different things. I could tell you it's rewarding to see your program being put on television. Now, my program I started off producing is Digital Soul Showcase TV, a show that is dedicated to R&B, Southern Soul, Zydeco, and gospel. And we've been putting on events and, covering events, big events. We covered Confunction a couple of times. We were able to, in 2014, and bring a live camera and cover him and Confunction and so many acts. And we also was blessed to travel across the South and document groups like Lakeside. Sister Khadijah has a somewhat funny interview she did with Lakeside and the great R&B and blues singer Wilson Meadows. So Tyree Neal, we've been there by the Neal family a bunch of times in Port Allen to cover their event. I mean, so many great groups we covered, and we try to take it back to television in the local area and show that this is our culture. This is the culture that, others promoting culture in their way, but we promote, I like to promote the R&B and Southern Soul culture. And you'll see it in my music videos. I have choice videos that a lot of artists submit, or a lot of artists give me the green light to go ahead and run it because it's under the Fair Use Act anyway. So that's what we do at Digital Soul Showcase TV. Now, if you're a local artist and you want to get on the show, because you're on in the 5 parish area of South Louisiana, in and around Lafayette. And so you got a great audience, captured audience to say this, so to speak. And the only complaint I would get from people about the show is that, man, your show, during football season, your show is running up against some of the top big game, like all you Saints fans, and y'all got my condolences, Saints fan. And some of you Cowboys fan right now, y'all on a high, and I'm ready to put the Raiders to bed because they're just about dead in the water. I've been a long-time Raider fan. But anyway, Digital Soul Showcase plays every first and third Sunday, a new show every first and third Sunday of the month on AOC Community Media. That's Cox 15, so please check it out. So, again, we're going to have our cameras down there at the big car show today with Southern Switches, a 3rd annual car show in Parks, Louisiana. It starts as of now all the way to 8 tonight. So please get out there and support these brothers. I think that's a great venture, what they're trying to do. Please support them. Also, we have early voting has started. Please get out and exercise your right to vote. When you vote, be informed of the candidates. Know what the candidates' intentions are when you vote for them. We got to solve this issue, what we call voter apathy. Louisiana has a number of African or black registered voters in this state, and we only vote at a very low clip. So, matter of fact, if you go to the Southern Switches car show today, there will be some voters information you could get in case you want to get in to know about voting and registration. So please, again, check that out. I want to give a few people. I want to give a big shout out to supporters of this show. Shout out to my mother, Miss Joyce Vallow, my aunt in Delcombe, Louisiana. most of the Roys are kin to me. Shout out to Cynthia Roy, she's in New Iberia. But Miss Shirley Roy was my aunt, and Mr. Kenneth Roy, who's my uncle. Shout out to my good cousin Agnes Dalcoy. She's recovering. She had a little illness she's dealing with, and she's recovering pretty fairly. Shout out to Miss LaGuerta Bastin, my other good cousin, always there for the family. I want to also give some shout out to a young man who's doing good in school, and I like to shout these youngsters out when they're doing good. Mr. Horatio Peters, he's doing real good. He's in the band. He come a long way. He's trying out for football, baseball, all of that. That young brother has a positive mind. And shout out to his sister Trey Allen, who just turned 16 years old, sweet 16. And I want to shout out to my daughter, Miss Shantae Vallat. She want to call herself Shantae. And her beautiful little daughters that she have, the 3 little musketeers. And again, I appreciate all the fan support of some of the projects we're trying to do over here at 88.3 FM. Shout out to Mr. John Freeman and Mr. Charles. I want to also give a big shout out. Like I say, since shout out is in the order, Brother Shabak, every Sunday on this station, you have one of the most dynamic gospel shows in the South. Brother Shabak, he's doing some great things, and you're always helping me out on some things when I'm asking about some things that's going on in the community. Again, shout out to Brother Shabak. Please check him out. I also want to give a shout out to Ms. Bernadette Stephen, Miss Deanie. I haven't heard from her a while, but we're going to bring her back on one of the shows that we produce over here. Always in the community, attending the funerals and giving loved ones comfort. So we appreciate you, Ms. Bernadette Stephen. I got some notes I want to bring up concerning. First, I want to go to this short clip. I think we need to go to this short clip concerning diabetes. Sister Khadija, if you're listening today, you told me this was impossible, but you need to check this out. Sister Khadija, this is for you.
So this technology is a system that allows us to hear if somebody has diabetes or not. Essentially identify people with diabetes through their voice.
That might sound far-fetched, but ClickLab's vice president explains there is science to back it up.
Diabetes in men results quite often to muscle weakness, and the muscle weakness would carry down all the way to the muscle that control the voice. On women, it's different. One of the features of diabetes is edema, where accumulation of fluid, and that changes the frequency, the pitch of the voice, and that's due to the vocal cord swelling a little bit and being bigger.
They were there this morning. Were they? Yeah.
This team of scientists built an algorithm that can detect the small, subtle vocal changes caused by type 2 diabetes.
You just grab your phone, speak in your phone, and then you get a diagnostic or a screening in a few seconds. We can now extract features of the voice that are so subtle and so complex that it would have taken years or decades of computer time before, and now we can do it overnight on a laptop.
The researchers say they're encouraged by the algorithm's accuracy.
Hello, how are you? What's my glucose level right now?
We got 89% accuracy for women and 86% for men.
Many people unknowingly live with the condition, according to BC Diabetes Medical Director Dr. Tom Elliott.
Half the people with type 2 diabetes don't realize they've got it. And that's because diabetes doesn't have any symptoms for years.
Elliott says even though it's still early days,
it's not a test you can rely on.
The technology's potential is exciting.
If people aren't going to see their family doctor, if they're not getting tests done every 5 years for screening for diabetes, which is what's recommended, then it's a whole lot better than nothing.
Dr. Elliott hadn't heard of this technology before our interview, but now hopes to collaborate with the research team on future projects. Right now, the application is used for research purposes only, but ClickLabs hopes to make it available for the general public once it gets approval from Health Canada. Catherine Ward, Global News.
There you go. That was especially for Sister Khadija when I told her there was a new tool in the many arsenal of AI, artificial intelligence, that can predict or just about diagnose if a person is basically in the early stages of diabetes. Now, some of the things that we talk about on this show about artificial intelligence, aka AI, has been negative. I think we have more of a critical audience once we get our audience established on this show, because sometimes you have to incubate those shows a long time. I mean, help facilitate them a long time before you get a regular audience. So most of the audience I talk to is more critical of artificial intelligence. But there are some great things, such as this diagnostic tool to find out if you are a person who might have, I think it's type 2 diabetes. So again, November is National Diabetes Month. Please get yourself checked. Also, it has to do a lot with diet. And we should understand that diet plays a great role in a lot of things. And unfortunately, the South Louisiana diet that we have, and a lot of it is based on the economy and what people like to eat and tourism. But unfortunately, a lot of the things we are eating are the things that are affecting our health. And so please redo your research and check it out for yourself. Before I go back into some more health news, because again, we're doing Diabetes Awareness Month here on this station, on the People's Tech and Entertainment Show. I want to go into this thing about Cox. And, like I say, we got a critical audience about tech. It's the People's Tech Show, but so that's a different type of tech show. It's a headline from one of the broadband online magazines that says, Cox and other ISPs score $274 million in Reconnect funding. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We got to just wait it out. Cox Communication received a fourth round of Reconnect grant of over $13 million in Oklahoma. That's just one. That's a news caption on a part of the overall thing. The Biden-Harris administration announced an additional $274 million in grants and loans across 8 states as part of the fourth round of the Reconnect program. These investments are being made in Alaska, Arizona, Illinois, Michigan, Missouri, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas, and will benefit 35,886 people, according to a statement from the United States Department of Agriculture. Cox Communication received a fourth round Reconnect grant of over $13 million in Oklahoma. Other big winners include different companies. I don't want to go all over them, but I want to get back to the crux of the article, which were each awarded Reconnect grants over $24 million in their respective state. The Chickasaw Nation in Oklahoma, which is an Indian tribe, was also awarded over $24 million. Thus far, the United States Department of Agriculture has presided over the 193 Reconnect projects totaling $3.4 billion, bringing high-speed internet access to approximately 485,000 people in rural communities across the country. The agency in August announced $667 million in Reconnect funding. This week's announcement is the 6th batch of grants to be awarded as part of the fourth round of the program. Wow. I mean, that is mind-boggling numbers as far as the government giving out grants and money, and rightly so, to build the infrastructure for the Internet Act. But if you have companies like Cox who makes billions and billions of dollars and are continually getting grants and funding and all types of incentives, even tax incentives, to build infrastructure, then to turn around and sell the product, it's kind of troubling, because most people who got all the types of let's say packages from say companies like Cox, I'm gonna just use them for example. Not going against any one company or not. As a matter of fact, I'm a subscriber to Cox. The issue is how can you fund these big corporations that are profiting billions of dollars, and the consumer continues to pay the high cost of having those subscription plans? Everything is a subscription plan. And even when you say you want to save money and cut the cord, like they say, cut cord cutters, and meaning do away with cable, regular cable TV, and just go to internet-only services, well, you're still paying high prices because they now know how to game the system, in the sense that the consumer going to pay high prices for not only just the internet access, they're going to be paying high price for the services that you subscribe to look at on the internet. So when does this thing, when does this thing level off? I mean, internet packages, talking about real powerful internet package, the ones that go give you good connectivity, meaning you don't have any glitches in your video or data that you're accessing. So if they were having a level playing field as far as one price for almost for everybody, even at the point of if you consume more, you still pay less. I just don't know. And what you say, consumer, what you say, listeners, should you be paying for all these high price internet service? They say internet service is a must, just like the light and the water and the gas. Well, not so much natural gas these days, or electricity. If that is a must, shouldn't there be some type of a more regulatory situation going on with internet access? So I'm just saying. So I want to play that, or talk about that piece briefly here on the People's Tech and Entertainment Show. I got another clip to go into. Again, we are saying this is National Diabetes Awareness Month, the month of November. I want to go into this piece about obesity in Louisiana.
Obesity remains a very serious chronic disease that affects more than 40% of America's population. Pennington Biomedical Research Center has identified it as a public health issue in Louisiana. And here to talk about the latest stats is Joe Niklowski, President and CEO of the Obesity Action Coalition. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So let's start off first with ironing out the details about how many people in Louisiana are affected with obesity.
So Louisiana stats look just like the national stats, right? About 39% of people in Louisiana live with obesity. And I'll be frank here, it's probably an underestimate, because how we actually measure that is we call people and we ask you how much you weigh and how tall you are. And let's be honest with you, most of us are not particularly honest about that, right? We're a few inches taller, a few pounds less. So probably those numbers are even higher than that. We're probably in the mid-40s in terms of percentage of people living with obesity.
So as far as locations in Louisiana where you see it the most, is there any place that sticks out to you?
So I think it's a problem all across the board, but we actually find that obesity is often worse in rural communities versus in the city environment. So we actually see higher rates among those people who live in these rural communities. Now, why that is, not 100% sure. We're waiting for the data to tell us why that is, but it's a trend we actually see nationwide.
So it's obviously dangerous to be overweight, but I mean, are there any other health risks that are associated with it?
Yeah, so obesity is definitely not just about your body size, right? There are plenty of people who can live in a larger body and be healthy. Obesity is really when you live in a larger body and it starts to impact your health. And the health things that can be impacted is you have a greater risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer. You name the condition. There's actually about 250 conditions associated with obesity. Now, obesity isn't blamed for every health condition, but the reality is it does cause many of the health conditions that affect people.
Wow. Okay, so 250 other conditions that are linked to this. And of course, you mentioned diabetes, heart disease, which are things that pop up a lot here in Louisiana. Are there any demographics that are affected more than others besides people that are in rural communities?
Yeah, so I think for sure when we look at the data, people of color have higher obesity rates, especially African American women who struggle with obesity higher. Now, part of that we have to acknowledge could be a flaw in how we measure obesity, which is through body mass index. But the reality is we see higher rates of diabetes, for example, in black women as well, right, kind of thing. So it is important to recognize, especially if you're in those demographics, that you should actually talk to your doctor about how your body weight is impacting your health. Because I want to be very, very clear. Not everyone who lives in a bigger body has obesity, right? Because it may not, their extra body fat may not be affecting their health. But if it is, you need to talk to your doctor about it and work on a plan to get as healthy as possible.
So we talked a little bit more about this before we started filming, but having obesity, or people that live with obesity, it kind of affects the community as a whole. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So it's important to recognize that obesity impacts people's life, not just from the health perspective, but the entirety of their lives.
Yeah, it's a stigma that they're really dealing with.
Absolutely. So weight bias and stigma arguably is the most challenging thing to live with when you have obesity. Somehow when we made obesity bad as a world, as a society, as a nation, we made the people who live with obesity bad as well. And that's a big problem, right? With other conditions, with other diseases, we're very clear, cancer is bad, but we have compassion and empathy for people with cancer. But somehow with obesity, we don't do that, right? We have this tendency to blame and shame people. And I'll be honest with you, it's that blame and shame that actually keeps us as a society from doing something to address obesity.
Right, and I've noticed, throughout this entire interview, you've not said that a person has obesity, they live with it. And that's part of addressing the stigma.
Absolutely. So, again, we are more than just our condition. So the word you hear often used by people is the word obese. And I would encourage people not to use that word. We wouldn't say someone's cancerous, right? They live with obesity, they live with cancer. Let's treat this condition with the respect it deserves, and all we're asking for is a little compassion and respect around it.
There you go, people. You just heard that segment on obesity and Louisiana, the staggering numbers and so forth. I have a great guest on the line who I talked about earlier. He want to give us an update of the big car show down there in Parks. They are setting up and getting ready for everybody to come out there. Welcome, Brother Antonio Jackson.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, thank you for having me, Bro Jay.
Well, give us a more of an update on how things going, and are you guys getting ready?
Yes, sir. Had calls coming in all yesterday, people on the way from Atlanta, even truckers that are on the road, and they have drag racer cars that they want to bring in the car show. It's a beautiful thing. The weather's looking amazing.
Yeah.
It feels good out here, man. Got some sunshine. The ground is dry, so just letting all the contestants know they can park on the grass and nobody would get bogged in and stuff like that. So, it's a beautiful thing.
And y'all having it in the big metropolis area of Parks, Louisiana.
Parks, Louisiana.
Shout out to Mayor Kevin Catley.
Can't think of a better place because, man, he keep the park up so nice, man. And a lot of adjustments been made. I just want people to know there are 3 RVs out there already. I think there's 1 slot. Other than that, you can still come on out, man, with your RV and camp out. Have a good time. They got a lot of space.
Yeah. And you guys gonna have some voter information going on?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Is even encourage people if they want to get signed up to vote, how to vote, voter registrations, and because we also have Mr. Paradan's campaign going on as well.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't expect to be in the runner-up when we had to reschedule the car show, and here it is.
Yeah.
It's God's plan. Everything falls in line.
Yes.
We may not understand at the time what's going on, but once it happens, then it's all better.
Yes. And so much as refreshments and entertainment, how is that coming to be?
Yeah, we will be selling refreshments, and people, if you want to bring your cooler, it's up to you. We just ask not no glass containers or anything, having trash all over the park and stuff like that,
Right.
But we will have refreshments to sell to the people that want to buy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's from right now until 8.
Oh yeah. Also, we'll have some door prizes. We're gonna hand out tickets as well. You know, we're gonna just try to keep people entertained throughout the day. And this year we didn't go too big on live entertainment with everything going on, especially with the campaigns and different tragedies and setbacks that we face throughout the year, early in the year, you know. So we just happy that we came together once again to bring it back since the pandemic. So that's a start, you know. Maybe next year we'll go all out on entertainment, you know, with you know, real live entertainment. But we still gonna have some artists that's performing. We got artists coming from Baton Rouge as well. I'm an artist myself. I will bless the stage, and you know, that's what the surgeries my wife went through. You know, I'm in good spirits and gonna display my talent today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we just gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Well, tell us where the location at again. Tell us that location exactly in the street address.
Now you're putting me on the spot.
Okay.
I gotta pull up the flyer. I don't know it by heart. I know it's
that's I just want to hear it from your mouth. I mean, I don't want to say the wrong words. Location.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
Cecil R. Porsche Memorial Park. Cecil R. Porsche Memorial Park.
Yes,
Forgot you got to pronounce it. The connotation of the slang. These words down here. That's 1019 Perro Street. Street, Parks, Louisiana. 1019 Perro Street, Parks, Louisiana. Well, if you go right by the City Hall, you can't miss it.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say. Right behind City Hall.
Yeah.
And once you go right behind the City Hall, you're going to run right into the banner. And when you see the banner, just turn right into the park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I wish y'all much success in this
And
project.
it's free parking also. To let people know it's free parking. We're not charging people to park or none of that crazy stuff. Just come out and have a good time. That's it. That's all we ask.
And come get yourself seen on Digital Soul TV also.
That's right. That's right. And I want to thank you. And God bless you for every time we give our events, even if it's not the car show, even if just coming into the radio station. We want to thank KIEE, Mr. Freeman, and the whole staff of Digital Soul Media. We want to thank all of y'all and AOC.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see you down the road, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
All right.
There you go, people. You just heard from Antonio Jackson, one of the facilitators of the big Southern Switches third annual car show. If it had wheels, bring it. That's Saturday, November 4th from 8 p.m. to 8 tonight. That's at Cecil R. Porsche Memorial Park. That's 1019 Perrot Street, or Perrier Street, Parks, Louisiana. So please check it out. You can't miss it when you go in downtown, big city, metropolitan area of Parks, Louisiana, right behind the City Hall, the park. A wonderful area to have an event. So please get out and support that. And as I was saying, this month is Diabetes Awareness Month, the month of November. And you got to educate yourself on these things that occur. And we just ran the piece about obesity and awareness in Louisiana. Certainly Louisiana is at the top of the iceberg when it's come to health outcomes, and especially obesity, and that contributes to issues with your kidney, your liver, diabetes, heart disease, coronary disease, so many different things. Again, you got to educate yourself, and even I would say some people want to settle for one opinion. You have to get sometimes 2 and 3 opinions when it comes to your health. This is your life you're playing with, you know. And again, I wish the scientific community would get together with the holistic healing community, because they have a lot of scientific facts behind holistic healing, meaning change of lifestyle and diet in the state to have these things. I think we have somebody else on the phone. We're going to bring them in. Yes, caller? Caller?
Yes, how you doing? Glenn Sheridan.
Hey, what's happening, Brother Glenn?
Hey, how you doing, man? Just calling on and letting you know Brother Jay is going down out here.
Okay.
The car show in Parks, man.
That's the car show in Parks. Okay, well,
yes,
tell us what's the big I know you got a big surprise because I saw some cars a couple of years ago.
Man, they done spread the word. It done spread like ants. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's out here having a good time. They setting up. The show's gonna go down actually at 12. We're gonna start, but we're lining up right now, man.
Right.
And it's gonna be a nice, pretty day. Just take a cruise and come check out the nice cars.
Yeah, I said, that should be a this time of the year usually cool and cold, but now because we had all that heat in the summer. This is a drop in the bucket, man. So people should get out and attend a great event like that, the end of the year type situation. One of the last big, one of the last big event coming from the community. We're not talking about somewhere else. We're talking about the community. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of cars here, man, that's pulling up. I think I'm being surprised. The guy's pulling up in the 18-wheeler, man. Okay. So that's how much pride he got in his truck.
That's not a Best Buy truck. That's not a Best Buy. Got something for me.
That's a big truck. I'm talking about an 18-wheeler.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We'll get Sister Khadijah out there. I'm pretty sure she's looking for an iPhone over there.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a nice day, man. If you can let everybody know it's going down in Parks.
Well, definitely we going to let people know to go check it out over here at 88.3 FM. We definitely appreciate the wonderful work you're doing in the community, Mr. Paradan, and putting on these shows, because that's not your first show you did like that. You've been doing some positive things for long as I knew of you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
So, again... that's you familiar with the address. Antonio said he didn't want to risk saying the name. Give us your connotation on the name of the park.
The name of the park is Cecilia Memorial Park, and that's in Parks, Louisiana.
Okay.
The address, if you pop it in your GPS, is 1019 Perio Street, Periou Street in Parks.
Perio, I got it now. I was saying the wrong word.
Yes, sir, man. And we out here. We got hot links on the thing. We got hot dogs going. We got the trophy set up. It's just gonna be a nice day, man. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, definitely, we get out there and support you, brother. And again, congratulations on your campaign. You made the runoff, and good luck to all the candidates out there. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, okay, my brother. We'll check you out today later on today.
Okay, appreciate you, man.
Right, thank you. Thank you. There you go. You just heard this directly from one of the other co-facilitators of the Southern Switchers. I always say Southern Switchers car show and going on today in Parks, Louisiana, all day event. Please get out. You want something wonderful to do with your family, go check that out. Some good brothers. Trust me when I say it, it has to be a fact, again. Check them out. Like I was saying, we're dealing with obesity and diabetes awareness month in the state of Louisiana. But we want to give some holistic information out. And like Sister Khadijah said, Jay, you need to get some medical professionals on before you say anything. Well, all this stuff is being researched. And I do give a disclaimer on things, but I know some of the products I have used have helped improve some of the health outcomes I have dealt with in the past. And if you don't educate yourself, and you could, it's good. Consult with your physician. Do that. The first thing you do. But have your mind or have it on your mind to do other research on your health issues. And we can't keep doing the same thing and we're not getting the outcome that we're looking for without trying to research the thing. So I want to give you this about a supplement I had tried, but it's being talked about all over the news. So I'm going to bring that up right now.
Berberine, does it really help with weight loss? Well, you probably heard the news that two of the major weight loss companies, Weight Watchers and Noom, have decided to market those miracle weight loss prescription drugs as part of their program. Wow, that's big news. And I'm not going to mention the names of those drugs, the names that will not be spoken here, but let's get this clear. Those weight loss drugs work by suppressing your appetite, by stopping gastric emptying so that you always feel full, and oh, by the way, at least 40 to 45% of the weight loss those drugs, make no mistake, they do produce weight loss, is from muscle loss, muscle mass reduction. And if you follow anything about aging, you want to keep your muscles. In fact, keeping your muscles is one of the hallmarks of successful aging. So, yeah, great. I'm glad everybody loses weight on the drugs that will not be named, but weight loss as a goal should not include the loss of nearly 50% of your muscle mass. Okay, so enter berberine. And berberine has gotten a lot of interest as maybe the poor man's natural alternative to these weight loss drugs. And there is some evidence that berberine can act as a GLP-1 inhibitor, which is what these drugs do. But berberine is much more than that. In fact, I am a huge fan of berberine, so much so that berberine is an ingredient in many of my products here at Gundry MD. So I'm a big fan, and I know a lot about how berberine works. And it's so much more than just a natural alternative to these prescription drugs. First of all, berberine is a compound in several plants. Oregon grape root, which is totally different than grape seed extract. It's present in barberry. It's present in several compounds. It is a polyphenol, son of a gun. And berberine is actually one of the most potent mitochondrial uncouplers that's ever been discovered. Now, if you've read The Energy Paradox, if you've read Unlocking the Keto Code, if you read the upcoming Gut Check, you'll know that uncoupling mitochondria is one of the long-term keys to long-term health. Number two, you know that uncoupling mitochondria is doing a caloric bypass on energy metabolism. It makes your mitochondria waste fuel, waste calories. And if you're wasting calories, you will lose weight. So let's get this straight. Berberine, first and foremost, and you won't see this on the internet, is a potent mitochondrial uncoupler, and that's why I really like it. What else does it do? Well, berberine is known to activate an enzyme called AMPK. Now, AMPK is one of the major regulators of metabolism and energy expenditure in the body. By stimulating AMPK, berberine can actually enhance fat burning and increase calorie expenditure, regardless of the fact that it's a mitochondrial uncoupler. So that means you are more efficient at metabolism and will support your weight loss efforts. It also has been shown to reduce blood sugar. It controls blood sugar and it also reduces insulin levels. Now, let's back up to insulin. Insulin is the hormone that literally handles the sugars and the proteins that you ingest. And simplistically, insulin is a salesperson that sells sugar and protein to your muscles. And if your muscles are hungry, then insulin has a really easy job of selling the sugar and protein you ate to your muscles. They basically go, yeah, I love what you're selling, I want to buy it. On the other hand, most Americans, even 50% of normal weight Americans, are insulin resistant. 88% of overweight Americans are insulin resistant. 99.5% of obese Americans are insulin resistant. That means that they do not listen to the sales pitch that insulin is making, and they are resistant to the sales pitch. That means that you make more insulin to try to convince your muscles to take the sugar and protein out of your blood. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen. And that's why your blood sugar goes up. That's why your hemoglobin A1C goes up. That's why your fasting insulin goes up. That's why you are insulin resistant. So what? Insulin is also a fat storage hormone. And the higher your insulin goes, the easier it is for you to make fat out of the sugar and protein that you eat. And that's the catch-22. The more of the stuff you eat, the more insulin you make, the more fat you deposit, and the more insulin you need to keep things happening. And that's what's so bad about our current diet. So, berberine drops insulin levels and drops blood sugar. It's a great way to start. In addition, what berberine does is it lowers insulin, which then lowers the enzymes involved in fat synthesis, and that can eliminate, or at least lessen, the accumulation of fat in fat cells. Now, it can also reduce the expression of genes involved in fat production, and can also increase the expression of genes involved in fat breakdown, which can promote weight loss. So, berberine has got like a 3-mode approach in producing the weight loss that you're looking for in these prescription drugs that are now so wildly popular that 2 weight loss programs are going to use them. And that goes counter to everything that we want to do for long-term good health. Now, drug companies know this. Drug companies want you to be a consumer for life. They're not peddling quick fix solutions. If a quick fix solution was useful, I can assure you drug companies would not be interested in this. They want you, these companies that are going to use this drug, to be a customer for life. And that's the last thing any of us want for good health. We want good health for life without the aid of pharmaceuticals. And that's what I've devoted the last 25 years of my practice and my research to giving you other options. And that's why berberine is a part of my armamentarium in a number of my products, because it's going to give you the benefits from a natural compound without the drawbacks of being addicted to a pharmaceutical for life.
More amazing episodes just like this one. Watch now. Supplements are great for you as long as you know what the dose you really need to have an effect is.
The fastest way to increase the length of your manhood, if you want to increase the size of your tool and make it stronger and harder,
We're back here at the People's Tech and Entertainment Show here on 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana. You were just listening to this piece on berberine. And some people swear by it, and then some people say it doesn't do anything for them. But I've been trying it, and other people I know have tried it, and it does not just deal with weight loss or insulin-resistant outcomes and help. I mean, for pre-diabetes, it's a good cardiovascular supplement. One of the things that you hear us talk about on this show is doing research on your nitric oxide levels in your body, a molecule that your body makes, and a precursor to you having heart disease, erectile dysfunction, and clogged artery, high cholesterol, is the amount of nitric oxide in your body. If you have it at low levels, well, you're certainly not doing good. Let's put it like that. And nitric oxide figured heavily in the issue during COVID-19 outbreaks, because it also is a type of defense mechanism your body has also to deal with infection. So having a high level, let's say a elevated level of nitric oxide production in your body certainly helps. More is good. Let's put it like that. Less is bad. So do your research on nitric oxide, and let's go back to berberine. That also contributes to you having somewhat of a better outcome with nitric oxide production in your body. Also, get more greens in your life. And the greens I've been using, and again, I'm giving the disclaimer, I'm not promoting any one product or element, and I'm just telling you what works for me and others, and do your own research. One of the main things, Sister Khadijah and I joke on the talk shows about what I'm having for the so-called Thanksgiving. I'm having arugula. Arugula is a cruciferous vegetable, and it has a lot of great properties to deal with anti-inflammatory conditions in your body. Also, it produces nitric oxide. A watermelon, which everybody would agree with, is a great fruit to use for nitric oxide production. Even grinding your watermelon rind down. Matter of fact, the watermelon rind has more nitric oxide making properties in it than anything else. L-citrulline and L-arginine. That's the two key words to make nitric oxide in your body. And it has a lot of that in the watermelon rind. So don't throw that watermelon rind away. The older people were right. They would put it in a jar and pickle it or something like that. But as far as you could grind it up and put it in a smoothie, a vegetable smoothie, a fruit smoothie. Blueberries is an excellent source. So people, instead of saying, what I'm saying is you could do whatever you want. You could go to the 24-hour fried chicken place. You know what I mean? I was hooked on that stuff too at a while. It tasted good, but it had some bad effect on the body later on in life. So you could still do that, but guess what? If you put some greens in your life and you put some type of supplement regimen in your life, you have a better outcome you're looking at as far as when you have to go deal with Mr. Doctor or Sister Doctor, whatever. If you have some things that you're doing great. Now, you got a lot of chances of being hit by a car or a moon rock falling on your head, but the better chances are having a great diet. And some would say, when is the great time to change my diet? I'm going to wait till after what we call Thanksgiving. Well, the time is now. Start doing it now. And everything that you eat that say it doesn't taste good isn't what you call an acquired taste. Once you start eating it and then you realize the benefits it has for your body, man, you're going to say, forget that. I want some arugula. Serve me up some arugula, some spinach, some some type of green vegetables. Even I've been checking out what you call bok choy. It's a nickname called a Chinese cabbage. And they sell it out at all the local big box grocery stores. And I name them big box stores, not to single any one big store out. Bok choy. And it's like it looked like a large celery, but it's not. It's far from tasting like a celery. And it also is an excellent source of the nutrients that you need and the building blocks to maintain proper nitric oxide production. So start incorporating these things in your life, in your diet, slow but surely. I'm sure Sister, if she listening, another producer at AOC, give her a shout out, Sister Jamila Schmitz. Sister Jamila, if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. Sister has always been into the holistic food healing for a long, long time. So, people, you don't want all these bad outcomes. Please try something different. That's all I'm going to say. And before I go, I'm going to play this segment also at the People's Tech. Is 5 minutes after the hour.
We are interactive and live. Get in the know. Call us at area code 337-534-0036. That's 337-534-0036 on the People's Tech and Entertainment Show on KIEE 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana.
Get in the know. You are now connected. The People's Tech and Entertainment Show is on the air with your host, Brother Jay, and that knowledgeable young brother, Keith Flong, right here on your superstation for South Louisiana, KIEE 88.3 FM.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not endorse any methods or products and entities they represent. These discussions are simply for educational purpose only. Thanks for listening.
The Open Line Radio Show is supported in part by Finders Keepers Home Improvement Store, the place with your residential hardware needs, small engines, outdoor power equipment, bathroom accessories, electronics, lighting, plumbing, and everything in between. Located in the Southern Development Office Building at 1006 Surrey Street, Lafayette. Telephone 337-780-8149. That's Finders Keepers Home Improvement.
Yeah, we're back here at the People's Tech and Entertainment Show on KIEE 88.3 FM. Great Saturday morning, about 10:13 a.m. in the morning on Saturday morning. The big car show, Southern Switches Car Show in Parks, Louisiana. Try to get out there. You out there in St. Mary Parish. Go check it out. We have a great listening audience out there in St. Mary Parish. We always get some positive feedback. Shout out to Miss Rosa Crosby and the crew. You guys are always doing something out there towards St. Mary Parish. You know, one of the things that I got my mic turned up too much. One of the things that we want people to do is always support these groups who are putting on these great events in the community. If you are a voting organization and you're someone who has voting information, you get out to the Southern Switches Car Show, and I think Brother Antonio and Mr. Glenn Perry will accommodate you guys in case you want to give out some information about voting. This is the time when you have gatherings, positive community gatherings, to give out the information. Louisiana did so dismal in this last election as far as the community, and I'm gonna start using code words, the community, and I won't say the black community, our community, who this radio station serves, and others who are listening and are supporters, because we have a lot of types of different callers that call this show, especially in the open line, and we know not all of them are from the black community. They call and they listen, so we welcome all callers. So again, get out to the Southern Switches Car Show and show your support. Also, people, we're still going back to artificial intelligence. There was a big global summit where leaders and even people from around the world were giving input and output, meaning they were telling what they was going to do, and people were giving input, telling them what they need to do as far as it comes to artificial intelligence. So I want to play this clip. It's from the World Global Summit on AI.
Welcome to Tech News Briefing. It's Friday, November 3rd. I'm Zoe Thomas for the Wall Street Journal. This week, world leaders, policymakers, and the heads of artificial intelligence companies have been meeting in the UK to discuss the risks created by AI. The goal was to find ways to work together to protect against the possible downsides of this advanced technology. Vice President Kamala Harris was among those attending the summit. Here's what she had to say in a speech in London on Wednesday.
Just as AI has the potential to do profound good, it also has the potential to cause profound harm. From AI-enabled cyber attacks at a scale beyond anything we've seen before, to AI-formulated bioweapons that could endanger the lives of millions of people. These threats are often referred to as the existential threats of AI, because, of course, they could endanger the very existence of humanity.
Harris also talked about the more immediate threats raised by AI, including the spread of false information and the risks to jobs. Our European tech reporter Sam Schechner was also at the summit. Sam, I want to start at the end. After the two-day summit, have global leaders agreed to any actions or steps to deal with the risks created by AI?
Well, there was actually some agreement announced at the end of this. There was a leaders meeting with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Vice President Kamala Harris and representatives of several other what they called like-minded countries in Europe and elsewhere. And they have agreed on this new testing protocol, and companies are pledging to open up their new models to outside testing by some of these safety institutes before they release them.
Take us through some of the risks that have been discussed at the summit.
Well, this is a summit that was arranged to discuss what they call risks from frontier AI, which is a term that they also had to define at the summit. And they're talking about the most advanced models. There were basically two categories of risk. One was how these models could help people do bad things. A bad actor could conceivably use a sophisticated AI model to tell you how to pull off a bioweapons attack, how to weaponize some kind of biological agent. And that's obviously something that has gotten a lot of attention from government leaders. The other category of risk is a little bit more speculative, although both of these are somewhat speculative. It's about loss of control of AI, that once some future AI is as smart as humans, that it could slip the bonds of human control and seek to control us, or make itself impossible to turn off, or possibly even try to wipe out humanity. Those are the two main categories of risk that the summit was built around initially. But it actually got broadened out somewhat significantly. There were civil society groups and others, including Vice President Kamala Harris, who were here saying, hey, we should define safety more broadly and their risks and harms that they would say AI is causing right now. Things like deepfakes undermining elections, or faulty algorithms trained on human biases, spreading those biases at an industrial scale.
It wasn't just politicians, though, who were at this summit. There were also a number of executives from some of the leading artificial intelligence companies. What have we heard from businesses about the risks?
The big AI companies, Google DeepMind, for instance, or Anthropic, have been pretty vocal that they think that these are real risks, these frontier risks. And so they have been pretty welcoming of the summit. The question is, one could be cynical and say, okay, well, is it serve their interest to focus on those risks as opposed to maybe some of the more current risks and harms that people identify? But, they made a commitment to open up their new models to testing, and they've generally said that they think this is important. I mean, you have Dario Amodei, the co-founder and CEO of Anthropic, for instance, saying that he thinks these new AI safety institutes will play an important role, and they welcome their establishment. Or the CEO of DeepMind, Demis Hassabis, saying that this is going to be a collective effort and that they're excited to see this work continue. So they're certainly saying that they're going to play ball.
Sam, one of the goals of this summit was to encourage global cooperation when it comes to dealing with the risks of AI. Did we get that in the end?
There certainly were some signs of it. I mean, the UK invited China to the summit. There was actually some pushback domestically about whether or not to do that. China has a different conception of the role of the state, of the role of private enterprise and free speech. But what ended up happening is that, you had more than 24 countries, including China, including not just European and North American countries. You had really a wide array saying that for the first time that they see some of these quote unquote frontier risks as a serious issue and that there is the possibility of catastrophic harm. So that was new. And now we see with the setup of these AI safety institutes, there's going to be cooperation. The US is setting up an AI safety institute and the UK has one as well. They're going to share information. The UK said they have an agreement with the government of Singapore as well to share information.
You've been at the summit. Can you just tell us what it's like?
Well, it's rainy. It's been very tightly organized to the point where press hasn't really had that much access. You have to walk around with a minder in order to go to meetings outside of the press center. But it's been interesting to see some of the huts where, Alan Turing helped build machines that help decode Nazis' Enigma encryption. And it's been a kind of unique opportunity where you have heads of companies like DeepMind or OpenAI, along with some world leaders and ministers from countries in Asia, in Africa, in the Americas.
All right, that's our European tech reporter, Sam Schechner. Thanks for joining us.
A real pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot.
And that's it for Tech News Briefing. Today's show was produced by Julie Chang. I'm your host, Zoe Thomas. Our supervising producer is Melanie Roy. Our development producer is Aisha Al-Muslim. Our deputy editors are Scott Salloway and Kristen.
Yeah, we're back here at the People's Tech and Entertainment Show. It's coming up about 10:22 on a Saturday morning. I guess it's Sunday morning. People, please get out there to the big Southern Switches car show today. Should be great weather to, just check out the cars, check out the park, check out some of the artists who might be there or might not be there. One of the things we want people to know, hopefully there'll be some voting registration information. Again, from the sound of my voice, any group who want to get out there and give some voting information, Brother Antonio Jackson and Brother Glenn Perrodin has is available spots for you if you want to get out there and give us some information. So don't wait till the last minute. Educate yourself on voting, but please get out there and support the brothers at the Southern Car Switchers Show. AI is real. Apparently, they had a global summit. Apparently, somebody's worried about that. They say like AI taking over. Actually, there are some things that come out of science fiction, man. And I got a guest in the studio, but I'm not gonna mention it. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm talking to him at the same time. The thing is, I saw this movie about back in the day called it was a assassin movie, where the guy had some type of artificial intelligence bullet. The bullet had that person's DNA. And he was an assassin, and he used that bullet to that bullet would go turn corners and do whatever it has to do and find that person who was going to assassinate. Now, that might sound far-fetched right, back then, but now it's a possibility. I was watching the news where they're showing how the drones over there in the Middle East, where one of the Hamas groups use a drone to drop a bomb. They didn't even know that on some Israeli soldiers. Drop a bomb, and you could see the camera shot straight down the video. You could see the soldiers standing up in a circle. They had no knowledge of this. And this is some actual footage. And the bomb went straight down and blew them. You could see people falling by the wayside. So look how smart that technology is, And so these things can be used for weapons. And these things also could be used in the segment I played about it can detect diabetes just by the sound of your voice, because they got some criteria to know how voices should sound when they're being affected by diabetes. They did that extensively did the research on that. So this AI technology, man, is just mind blowing. You know, and people don't forget that this month is National Diabetes Awareness Month, and I had some clips I played earlier concerning diabetes, and one of the things is obesity in the state of Louisiana, and I also played the mechanism to how you basically diabetes is not a disease that you just go catch because you stand up next to somebody. No, it's something that we do to ourselves, or something that we inherit as far as our gene makeup. One of the hardest thing in the state of Louisiana is our food diet. Our food diet, the food tastes good, it smells good, that's food to die for. But the outcomes with the health over the years, eating those types of food, eating a lot of red meat, eating a lot of pork products, eating a lot of rice and starch, they have a natural progression of turning into something else. You got inflammation of the body. Inflammation sometimes turns to cancer. You got people who dealing with kidney functions. The kidney functions are way below the normal functioning. That's because of certain foods they're eating, certain lifestyles. You got smoking. You got drinking. I mean, every vice you could think of in the state of Louisiana. So therefore you go to the think tanks and you start looking at the research and you see the negative numbers about Louisiana. Then you ask yourself, why are these people making that up about Louisiana? But then again, you know a lot of people who just was recently diagnosed with some type of kidney failure, diabetes, then kidney failure, then, I'm sorry to say this, the funeral home. And this is not a joke. This is a happening thing. This is something that we could help mitigate. We could help stop if we would just do our research. And doctors are fine, doctors are great, but get a third and fourth opinion. And also start looking to holistic healing. They are actually medical doctors. Like I played you the piece from Dr. Gundy. He's a world-renowned heart surgeon. He just completely left that system and went into holistic healing because he was so turned off about his fellow colleagues who just want to feed the prescription pills to people in league with the pharmaceutical company who make millions of dollars, not telling you some simple supplements that you can go get. They'll tell you to go get vitamin D3. They'll put you all on vitamin D3, but they won't tell you the mechanism for putting the vitamin D3 in the right place in your body is to have vitamin K2. That's the problem. That's a problem I have when the research that these doctors who come out of medical school don't tell you everything, and they don't try to educate themselves. Some of these doctors need to be educated themselves about holistic healing, and a lot of these holistic healing applications or changes in your lifestyle have some positive outcomes, you know. So people just pay attention to what is really going on. Also, you just heard me talk about how the big internet service providers are actually changing the way they give you these programs. And again, not to promote one ISP over the other. I'm gonna just say this one since this one not in our area. Comcast, for instance. Comcast has lost customers. Netflix has lost customers. And you could say, well, that's two different type of situation. Well, Comcast is a all-around media company. Not only do they sell program their own studios, and they have networks, and they have programming, and they have a television station, they also the infrastructure. They're the wire that brings the internet in your house. They're the one that brings the cable TV in your house. So people have gotten smarter, and they are technically cutting the cord, and we call that cord cutting, meaning they're not down with the cable TV subscription. I'm not saying that to be the negative person against the cable TV industry, but do your research. You're going to see that. There's a word now coined in the dictionary called cord cutting. They're getting away. So what the internet company has figured out, that you're not getting the subscription plans to cable TV, they figured out they're raising the prices on internet access, and then the companies that they carry on the internet access or you subscribe to are raising their prices too. So that's why you see Netflix is cracking down on password sharing, and they're raising their price, and even some of their programs have commercials in them now, because somebody has to pay for that. I understand all of that. Somebody has to pay for this programming. But how much is enough for people who are getting paid handsomely at the CEOs, even Amazon, which I'm a fan of as far as bringing my packages on time and getting my item. They're making buku money. I mean, we could use that word in South Louisiana, buku, at the expense of the consumer. So Sister Khadijah and I were discussing about why the artists are they're protesting about not getting fairly compensated for the use of AI and in some of the programming and some of the performances. But I told Sister Khadijah, these artists are being paid real good. You know who's going to suffer? The consumer who consume that information, So we just got to check it out for ourselves and watch out for the things that are going on. Again, people, I'm going to close it down early. We don't have any guests, but it was great coming on the air. We really appreciate for the fans who didn't call in or who called, the people who listened to the Open Line Radio Show, the people who listened to Mr. June Andrews, Business to Business, all these wonderful talk shows. Again, big shout out to Cowboy Preacher. Shout out to Brother Shabak on Sunday morning. Shout out to Brother Shahid here at Finders Keepers. Check him out. Shout out to Sister Khadijah. Our boss lady, she's always got keeping things down right for all of us, and we definitely appreciate all the people involved. And people, please try to get out to that big car show today. It's certainly something very important that we should support in the community. Until next week, see you on another edition of the People's Tech and Entertainment Show.
I am a computer. I have been programmed to dance. I am here to digitize you. Digitize you, baby. Watch,